There is a big difference between aligning and doing. When it comes to manifesting the life you desire, your sole purpose, we want to do it from a place of alignment. Now, it's an interesting thing because a lot of times we think to ourselves, well, we need to be doing in order to manifest the purpose, right? The only way we could bring forward the life we truly desire is by doing it. Creating from our ego's perspective means having to do. Okay. And it's an interesting paradox because we're in the situation where we're releasing a lot of these old timelines. We're releasing a lot of the 3D type of ways of living, these things that are patterned, these traumas that have been stored throughout our lives, where our ego is trying to keep us safe. So when we think of something that makes us feel really motivated or really, really good, we want to act instantly on it. We want to make that decision and we want to jump into it. But we need to remember that in the initial stages of that process, the ego is going to throw out the ideas and the thoughts of what it believes needs to happen. Okay, so it's working. Remember, the ego is working from a very limited or defined playbook, okay, of only what it's experienced here within this lifetime. And that's what it draws from in order to try to assist us in manifesting. Remember, the ego is trying to keep us safe. It's trying to be the good servant. It's trying to manifest the life we desire, but it doesn't have the full playbook, the full instruction book, so to speak. It's working from that very limited set of instructions. So immediately, the first thoughts we have when we feel really positive about something, we feel like we want to move in a direction. It's in alignment with our soul. Do we act? Do we not act on it? The ego is going to throw out exactly what it thinks we should do, which is what it is familiar with. That's the point where we need to bring awareness and basically awareness and consciousness to the table, bring it to the forefront and say, okay, I have an emotion here. I have something that feels very high vibrational. What do I do next? And I've talked about this in so many different videos about doing and not doing. It is very important to integrate that energy, to feel it, to give it space and let it just sit and be present with it. Because when we do that, we take that steering wheel away from the ego, who always wants to keep us distracted so it could take us down the road that it thinks is the safe path, right? And when we do that, we disconnect from our intuition, from our soul guidance. So it is very, very important in these situations to sit in presence with this high vibrational feeling. I did it just this morning. I was sitting out on my deck, listening to music and communicating with my guides. And I struggle with this too, guys. Do I not do? Sometimes I feel like I've made mistakes in the past on things that I've done, and I dwell on that a little bit. Do I need to go back and try to correct something? Do I need to try to change something? And that's the ego trying to fix something that it perceives as broken. Now, every experience we have, good or bad, however the ego perceives it, is for our greater good. It's for an expansion of consciousness. So we go through the experience, we learn something from it, and then we move on. But the ego wants us to be reactive. If it's something we perceive we did that's bad, the ego wants to try to fix it, right? If we've ruffled some feathers, the ego wants to try to fix it, right? And same thing goes with the future. If we're trying to manifest a life we desire, the ego is working again from that limited playbook. So it wants us to take action because that's the only way it knows how to change something. It's by taking action. We know better. We know that the most powerful way to change our reality is to align with a higher frequency version of us. And the only way we do that is by creating space, detaching from our thoughts, creating space, and allowing those versions to step in and through us and bring forward all of this divine knowing and knowledge, all of this amazing multidimensional energy that literally transforms the matrix here, this time-space reality. It literally transforms it. So when we're following the ego's guidance, trying to fix something from the past that we perceive as bad, or trying to create something in the future that we really, really want, and we're limited to the vision of the ego, we are closing ourselves off from our energy, our divine energy. We are in resistance to that. We are in a mode of force of trying to force change, force something to happen by doing, by actually trying to manipulate with our five senses and with our hands and creating by doing. Okay. And that again closes us off from what we're trying to do, which is land more of our consciousness. When we do that, we open up to greater expanded versions of reality and we start to perceive them. Neville Goddard talks about this, talks about just align and feel what you want your life to become. Fully feel it. That's all you have to do. There's no more doing than that. Then the guidance comes forward and opportunities present themselves. And when opportunities present themselves, do we dive into them? No. We sit, we feel, we fully embrace that high frequency vibe, and we allow it to integrate. We allow it to step into ourselves and bond with us and just come in here and join with us. And that raises the frequency. It releases more dense energy, which creates more space. And then you will notice there is going to be less resistance to actually doing things that you decide to move forward with or lean into. You're going to do so from a space of flow, and it's going to feel a lot more effortless. And when you do that, you lean in a little bit. Instead of taking that big dive, you lean in a little bit. You encounter a little bit of resistance, you pause, and you sit with that emotion, you sit with that feeling, because the ego, again, is trying to steer the car to some extent. So we want to sit with that. We want to ground more, allow more energy to integrate, and then reestablish that energetic flow. So what I'm getting at here is that things that are truly in alignment with your path are going to flow effortlessly. Okay. When we're feeling like we're struggling, we're not getting results, we're in resistance, we're in ego mode. So the best way to fix that is to not try to keep going down these paths that the ego wants us to go down based on old habits and programming. We want to get centered again and be available for your energy to land and come through and get up here, move through your chakras, because when you're getting aligned, you are aligning your chakras. You are restoring your multidimensional energy flow, and it gets up here into the brain. And when your brain hemispheres are aligned in synchronization, hemisync, right? The hemispheres are in sync. The ideas are going to come forward. The opportunities are going to manifest, and it's going to feel simply effortless. And you will just be that boat in the current being carried along the purpose, the highest purpose of your life, your soul's purpose, your life purpose. That's how it's done. So anytime you're feeling that resistance from this point forward, hit that pause button, sit and allow you to feel that energy. There's an energetic blockage there. If you're feeling really high vibe, motivated about something, pause there too, allow that to land and allow that to fully integrate. Okay. Otherwise, we're giving the steering wheel to the ego. And again, guys, it's operating from that limited playbook. Once you start to do this more and more, you're going to start to see the opportunity, and you're going to start to feel when the ideas are coming forward from an integrated perspective, more integrated perspective, more aligned perspective, because you're not going to have that resistance. You're going to have the energy behind you to accomplish a task, to do something that's in alignment. And you're going to have that energy to carry you, to create that momentum going forward. And again, that brings along all these opportunities, which we could realign with each one of them as we perceive them and allow our flow, our state of flow, to carry us forward. And that's how we manifest the life we desire, our soul's purpose. So the key is, again, get into alignment when you're noticing these decisions, these emotions, high and low frequency. Bring it back in here and feel, get into alignment, sit with it, and allow it to heal. If it's low vibrational, allow it to integrate if it's high vibrational, and be guided from that point forward from your soul. So I hope this video resonated with you guys. If it did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please feel free to share it. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you know anyone this can help. Thank you.